Warning. This podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
Yo, what's going on? I am Scoots Bronson.
And I am S. Foster.
That's right. And you tuned into another episode of the Viewers Anonymous podcast where we give you our very own reviews and takes of movies and TV straight out of Hollywood. What's going on with you, Brody?
Can't call it, man. Just out here trying to make this money. You know what I mean? Trying to make this money, trying to, you know what I'm saying, grow these pods. Had something that I was, very happy to tell you earlier before we got started. So that is a sign in the right direction, I would say.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, man, I'm doing all right though, man. How about you? How you feeling?
Oh man, Cloud9, man, Cloud9. Hearing that good news really lifted it up. I've been working, you know what I'm saying, my job all day, and then I got off early and went to go fix some stuff for the pod, you know what I'm saying, did some graphics and stuff today and looked up some other stuff that we may or may not need, just getting ready for this pod, man. Super excited about this actually. You know what I'm saying? This is one of those ones for us.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is definitely one of the ones that, you know, we usually this is the one thing that did surprise me though, because usually we talk about like these type of, you know what I'm saying, joints. We talk about these off pod, but this one I was holding back as much as possible because I'm like, bro, I can't. I told you yesterday, I'm like, bro, I cannot wait the pod, bro. I cannot wait because nigga, sheesh. But nah, man, today was cool. It was raining all goddamn day today, bro. Wasn't a fan of that.
Well, it didn't rain all day, but it was overcast all day. And like we had so when I woke up this morning, because like South Carolina, dude, it's like the weather shifts so much down here that you gotta check this shit every day. So I checked it and it told me it had snow flurries from 7 to 8 and then rain from 8 to 9. But we didn't get any of that damn snow, so I'm cool with that. But then, like, it kind of got a little bit of rain today, but it was just overcast. It was just, you know what I'm saying? It was just gloomy all day. Like, today was one of those days, man. Just want to lay on the couch, man. Like,
Yeah.
it was just ugly, nasty, like all that type shit. So I feel you on that.
Yeah, man. It's it'd be like that with this weather, man. But listen, today is a special episode. We don't usually get these, ladies and gentlemen. These don't usually come in when something so I don't want to say the word hot because like that's kind of a sick ass way of saying it, but like something so polarizing, that's a better way of saying it. Something so polarizing, you know what I'm saying, shows up at our door. We usually don't get the second part to that. Like we don't get another part to that. So it's usually that and that's it. So Max has gifted us, you know what I'm saying, late Christmas present with The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, Part 2, Natalia Talks. Off of the first docuseries or the first season, I guess they broke it, or part one. Let's say part one. Off of part one, right? How were you? What was your thoughts going into watching this?
Well, going into this and where we left off, I remember at the end of that pod that we did last year, I was like, yo, even with watching everything that we watched and the information that was given, I was like, I still don't know what the fuck is going on. And so going into this one, I was thinking like, okay, maybe with 6 more episodes, I may be able to come up with some kind of answers. Figure at least some type of shit out. And I might be a little bit even more confused because it's like even though we hearing Natalia's side of it, You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Just go around. But it's like, dude, it's hard to tell who's telling the truth about anything when it comes to this shit. And
Man.
the one thing that stood out to me the most was when Natalia would start speaking about some of the things that she remembered. And we're talking about someone who's at the time, she might have been 5, 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
And she's recalling these situations. And I'm like, man, look, I know I'm a little older now, but it's like, yo, I don't know if I even really be remembering shit happened to me when I was 5 and 7,
I
8 years old.
faint memories, like as far as like places and shit, but I'm talking. She was breaking that shit down like she was
Like,
writing a movie.
yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But then when she was having that conversation with Michael, and Michael hit her with a, yo, this happened. And then like now she's like, you can see her, even that lawyer lady was like, yo, she kind of shifted in her chair and her body language was like she was
Mm,
trying to recount that situation, and it's like, yo, hold up. It's I'm I'm even more confused
yeah.
because I will say this because I'm rambling. I'm starting to ramble. Is that usually, and this is not all cases, but usually when there's smoke, there's fire. And I said this to you when we were texting. I was like, yo, it's always something with her with some family. It's never a situation where it's just like, yo, Michael's on this, Christine's on this.
Mm-hmm.
But it was some shit before them and it was shit after them.
Yeah.
And it's like there's and I was feeling the way about Michael's lawyer, but a man got a point on some stuff. It's always something around this girl, man.
But I hate that he's the lawyer. I ain't gonna lie to you. I hate that
Yeah.
man because he's. I don't know, man. Is okay. So real quick for the just to you know what I'm saying, give a little a memory jog, man. The Curious Case of Natalia Grace was pretty much about a young disabled girl who was a immigrant orphan, and she was adopted by the Barnett family, and well, she was adopted by two families before that. She was then adopted by the Barnett family, and once she became adopted by the Barnett family, some things happened. The mother and father kind of neglected her and abused her. Well, they kind of neglected her. They definitely abused her. And some,
They re-aged her.
yeah, they re-aged her. Which we got to get into that shit because
Hmm.
yeah, so they re-aged her. They left her out to live on her own, even though she was disabled and she technically was supposed to have a caretaker. And she was basically doing all of this shit at the age of 8, 9 years old, maybe 10 years old. Um, and she she finally gets her opportunity to speak in this part two, and now she has a new adopted, well, at the time they were her foster parents, but then she eventually became adopted into the family, so she had new adoptive parents. And off the rip, I'm be honest with you, I don't like none of the dads in any of this shit. Whoever her dad is always a weirdo ass nigga, bro. Off the rip, off the rip. um you know what I'm saying, is I just knew something was off. You know what I'm saying, just you could tell something was off about the, what's his name, Mans, whatever, the
Yeah.
man, yeah, the dad, just something is off about this dude, bro. um but as soon as it you know what I'm saying, it goes into it intros, and then it goes into the cold opening or whatever. It's like you just see him talking to Natalia, and now you like, yo, who the fuck is this guy? Instantly, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Where did he come from? Why is she kicking it with this black man? Who is he? Come to find out, this is her foster dad. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, right, that she done moved with a whole other family. Well, it's not a new family. This is the same people from part one when she was in the apartments with the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. See, I didn't know that at first. Once I actually started watching it, and then they showed the scene where her and the mom was sitting outside, I'm like, oh, that's the lady. So I'm thinking this is somebody totally new. This is not a new family at all. So I'm like, all right, cool. So at least we have some resemblance of who these people, or at least who the mom is, because I don't remember them showing the dad on
I
the.
don't think they ever showed him in the first
Yeah,
one.
see, that's another thing that threw me off. So initially they kind of get into Natalia's side of the story. In the first sit down with her and Michael. Now, I said this on the last time, I'm gonna say it again. That nigga's on drugs, bro. Yeah. His with that sporadic movement shit and the eyes and the hands and that's drug addict behavior. Like, come on, man. And then like the way he dressing and shit, he in an identity crisis. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, something is wrong with this nigga, bro. Something is really wrong with this man, Michael Barnett, bro. Like he is, and on top of that, he's traumatized by his wife. He's totally traumatized by that woman.
Oh
I'm
man,
telling you,
we gotta
that
talk about
woman
that, bro.
has broke this man down to. I'm talking about when you go to the military and they be like, we're gonna break you down to nothing. She broke him down lower than that. This motherfucker has lost all sense of everything. When you talk her name, this nigga get the creeps. Like that shit is crazy. She is this nigga's boogeyman, bro.
Hey, he called her the devil, man.
He was like, no, he said her name was Evil. He kept calling her Evil. I was like,
he said I don't even call her Christine.
yeah, I said, bro, it's not that deep. It's really not that deep. It's a lot of stuff he could have did to fix this situation, and he ain't had the cojones for it, man. But it was interesting to hear. It was interesting to hear Natalia's side of the story, right? Because everything that we've heard has kind of been, especially from the first part, has kind of been from Michael. We still haven't heard anything from Christine. We don't know what's going on with her. Everything has been from Michael.
Well, we know they reached out to her. I felt like they said a number. I think they said some shit like they reached out to her like 10 times or some shit that.
The first part they did. The second time it was 4. She was like, "Fuck y'all, I ain't got nothing to do with this shit." So, you know what I'm saying? She don't obviously care about clearing her name or none of that shit. So what's that one thing? She did that shit. You know what I'm saying? She did that shit for sure. But what's crazy about this is you also get a chance to see like how later on when everybody kind of knows the story and kind of figuring out what's going on, you kind of see like their, not just their reactions, but I think they're realizing the shit that was happening as well. Like they kind of playing it back in their head too with everything that's happening or happened. I'm sorry. And perfect example was the neighbor. When she went to go sit down with the neighbor, and the neighbor was like, yeah, I was scared of Christine. So like this whole thing is like painting Christine as this like real live boogeyman. Like she was fucking with people. Like she was the master manipulator. She was the big bad bully. You know what I'm saying? Like she just had shit going crazy. Like she had the kids whooping Natalia's ass. Did you see that shit?
I did, man. But they got man. They talking about Christine like she got damn Killer Sally about this motherfucker, man.
She might be.
First of all,
she might be worse than Sally in this motherfucker.
She might not be. Look, she is not built like Killer Sally. I can say that.
No, not at all.
But the way Michael talk about her, you would think that she built like her because I'm listening to this guy, and
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, you telling me you could not make one decision? You could not, you know what I'm saying, have any type of conversation with this woman.
Right.
Like, for me, he played the victim card way too much. Did she break him down? Yes. Like, you remember in the first one where, like, Christine was holding the box from him. And then she would be like, she'll give him some if he do this or do that or whatever. So he would like do that shit. That's all it is. My man, Michael is whipped out here in these streets. Okay, that's all that is. Michael, Michael is struggling out here. And
hey,
Chris,
that nigga is sitting at the screen like
donations. Donations.
oh weak, man. Nigga said whipped. I mean, you're right though. You are right. You are definitely right because that's how that shit came off, bro.
Oh yeah, and now, man, I just like, man, what pissed me off about the second time, because you know he blew up the first. Hold on, wait a minute. Before we get there,
you talking about between the sit down?
Yeah, yo, I'm with you on what we said off camera. When the man's dad was like, "Yo, look, you can talk, but we don't need no cursing," and my man said, "Yo,
down,
like, man, you don't get the."
Yeah, bro, you ain't got shit to do with this, my nigga. Shut up.
Man, first of all, I would have looked at him, man, fuck you, man. You ain't gonna be trying to tell me how to talk. This girl is 30-something years old now. You know what I mean? Like, nah. You ain't gonna tell me.
Bro, no. I'm glad you said that. When I actually heard the date she was born, that's some sick shit. They said they changed her birth year from 2003 to 1989, my nigga. That's fucking crazy, bro. 1989, bro. Me and that bitch is the same age for me. Bro, this bitch is born. They made this bitch born a year after me, bro. That's crazy. When I heard that shit, I said, "Man, ain't no first and foremost, right? I don't know if maybe it's just me or maybe certain people can see it, or maybe just some people just are oblivious to be, you know, like the type of shit that's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you look at Natalia now, and then you look at Natalia then, you can clearly tell she was a child.
Yes, clearly.
That's obvious, right? Super obvious. Who looked at her and was like, she's 33? I mean, no, what they said she was 20, 18 or whatever. Yeah, she's a teenager. She's grown. She's an adult. Who seen that and was like, no, 22, that's what it was. She's 22. Who looked at her and said, yeah, she's 22? And just facially. I'm just talking about facially. What 22-year-old looks like a fucking 5-year-old, bro? Even Andy Milonakis looked like a teenager at 40. That's cool. I get it. He looked like a teenager. But we wasn't like, we was just like, this is a badass little kid. And then when we find out this nigga's older, we like, oh, this nigga 40. So cool. But she clearly, bro, like everything indicated child about her. Even her thought process was just childlike shit. Like she going outside, and like even in part one when they was talking about the shit she was doing, like she going outside playing with toys. Yeah, she's a fucking kid. That's the shit that was confusing me. They was like, yeah, this grown lady just keeps coming over the play. I'm like, nigga, she's obviously not grown, bro. I know a lot of grown people. I know a lot of 22-year-olds. The first thing they doing is not jumping on the fucking big wheel, my nigga. What are we talking about? I don't give a fuck how tall they are. Like that shit is crazy. They're going to do 22-year-old shit.
Oh shit!
You know what I'm saying? We're not, because the neighbors, it was the neighbors that was just pissing me off because they like, yeah, she just jumped on my kid's big wheel. Yeah, nigga, she's a fucking child. What are we talking about? I'm like, how the fuck do you miss that? Then what was the other thing, bro? Oh, they went back to the old lady, right?
Oh, she on that wild shit.
This is my only beef, bro. This be my only beef with docs, bro. They find the one person every time. They find the one person who don't know shit about shit and just got a story and they just run with that shit. Cause she said at first, yeah, she was out here just doing sexual things and she was out here being sexual with all the neighbors. Then it went from her being sexual with all the neighbors to her just going to knock on everybody's door. Then it went from that to she went into a man's house one time and this nigga was ass naked. And then after that, she said, yeah, he's a nasty old man, though. Like one of my neighbors was walking past, he was standing at the door butt naked. So you think that she out here fucking on everybody, but it went from that to her just knocking on everybody's door to then just going in everybody's house. And she just so happened to go to the house that the freaky man then lives in. And now all of a sudden she's a whore because she went into the freaky man house.
No, but then tell me who does this. All right, does a child do this or a grown person do this?
Mm-hmm.
How many? Okay, not how many. Let me keep the question where it was. A grown person or a child? How many grown people just either knock? Do they knock on your door or they walk through your door?
Oh, they definitely going. Well, it depends on where you at and who they are. But if it's just a random ass grown person, they definitely just gonna walk through your shit. They're not knocking on your door.
See, I think the opposite. Because I feel like with Natalia being the age that she is, and them kicking her out the way that they did, it would make sense for a child to just fucking just walks right into your shit. Then a person that's grown.
Remember, she ain't the normal child either, because so like she can't reach shit.
I mean, this is true, but remember the old lady was talking about how she would just walk in her house and just go on her refrigerator.
Hey man, let me tell you something. Think about this. Just think about this. Think about the shit that this girl had to endure in the house where she was at alone. Right?
Yeah.
She had to climb up chairs to get to certain shit. Like it was a bunch of different shit. This is my thing. She's supposedly 22 around this time that everybody's supposedly saying she's an adult. If a 22 walk in your house, a 22-year-old walk in your house, right? And you clearly got the physical advantage on them. And they walk in your house and go in your refrigerator. Wouldn't you stop them?
In her situation, I wouldn't like stop her because I mean, all right. So I mean, people got to also understand, like, when you see the size of this girl at that time, she has grown a little bit, but she's still, you know, what I mean, super short.
She probably around like 4 foot something now. At the time, she was 3 in like in the middle of the two.
Yeah, like
a little child, bro.
Like, yeah, I'm 6'2", so it's gonna look kind of freaky me just grabbing this girl up and be like, "Yo, man, get out of my refrigerator."
I'm not saying anything aggressive. I'm just saying, like, when I say stop her, I'm saying like, hey, you know, you can't come in my, you know, refrigerator whenever you want. Like, you know, just to talk to her, let her know, hey, you know, if you want something or you need something, you could let me know. I can help you. Like, it's ways around it, but nigga, she ain't just barging in these motherfuckers' houses and taking shit.
She ain't barging. No,
her own refrigerator.
Yeah, that old lady was on some wild shit. Then when they showed her the video of them saying that, you know, she was like 8 or 9 years old during that time. Oh, I don't believe that. I refuse to believe that she was grown. And I'm like, bitch,
she can barely see. Old ass woman can't see shit, man.
Man, they gave this woman proof because they did that thing where I don't know, some kind of age thing or whatever, where they could take your DNA and they could get an age. And so when they did it, it ended up being like they said that it could be a year or two off from what you think you are or whatever. And it ended up being that. I think it said it was. They said that they aged her to be between the age 8 to 10 during that time.
Nick, no, not only did the DNA test do that, when they went to the dental, did the when they did their
Yes.
dental records, he said the same thing. He said 9 to 10.
And he told the Barnetts that, and he said they completely disregarded what he said.
Yep. But
So
the judge is a family friend, and they got a letter from a physician who had wrote in whichever was who was also a family friend. So all of this shit was a setup to begin with.
yeah, because I think that they knew that they would not be able to get rid of Natalia, so they just tried to say that she's grown and just stuff her ass somewhere.
I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think they could have put her up for adoption. But this is the
Well,
thing. If I'm mistaken, and I believe I asked this last time, if I'm mistaken, right? Don't they get money when they do that? Like as far as getting her help and everything else like that?
this is true, but there's two things though.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, I give Michael credit for this because I do think Michael's telling the truth about this. When because of their one son was this genius and she got that book deal and all of this type stuff, she's looked to be well, she appears to be this great parent that got this super smart kid, right? And she got this book deal
Oh, you're talking about
and all
Christine?
this type of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that Christine, when Michael was talking about Christine, was so worried about her reputation that because she wouldn't be able to fix Natalia, she didn't want to send her up for adoption because she wouldn't look like this great person, great parent.
That's how I know he was doing drugs.
Yeah.
Nobody heard of that book, bro. Nobody heard of that. That bitch is not famous. She talking about Hollywood and all this other shit. Have you ever heard of Christine Barnett before this?
I haven't, but
that she wasn't.
I have heard of 500 grand. I ain't never seen it, but I heard it, and she got that.
Yeah, if you sell enough books, you can be 500 grand. That don't mean people know who you are.
That's what the book deal was. The publishing company gave her 500,000.
Yeah, that's cool. That don't make you famous. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I bought a bunch of books. I don't know what none of these niggas look like. That's what I'm saying. You feel me? Yeah, I'm sure they got great deals. I'm sure they made a lot of money. Nah, I don't know what these niggas look like. I couldn't point these niggas out to you if my life depended on it, man. So she was delirious. He was just as delirious, and so was everybody around him. Plain
This
as
is true. Now the money thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is the issue another issue that they had with trying to put her up for adoption because she needed these surgeries.
Yeah.
And I remember in the first one when they spoke to the other little people family, they were saying that they was trying to put those medical expenses on them.
Yeah. Because what happened was, and he explained it in this part, because it was early on. Remember when that happened? Well, for 6 months, she was still technically under adoption from them.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they were trying to say, like, yo, like technically y'all still are her legal guardians.
See, I think that another reason why they couldn't get rid of her is because of those surgeries that she needed. Yeah. They didn't want Christina. Her and Michael didn't want to pay for that shit. That's why I think Michael is complicit in some of this shit. He can sit back and try to act like he's so fucking innocent and he was, was afraid of
this nigga.
Yeah. I mean, he is. Like, both of them definitely deserve some kind of repercussions for what they did. Now, is Christine the ringleader of this shit? Yes, Christine is the ringleader of this shit. But at the same time, like Michael, like come on, like you can't keep sitting back acting like you had no idea of anything. You're not complicit in any of this, and Christine just bullied you into everything. Like, come on.
Okay.
Like,
I want to say it's at least 85-15, maybe 90-10, but 85-15 at the least, right? I do think he was with the shits. Whatever was going on, he was with it. She had some money, you know what I'm saying? Shit was popping. He was with it. He probably ain't had to work as much. He was just loving life. Now, was she like abusing him and all that shit? Absolutely. Like I told you, she broke that man, bro. When he had explained the situation where he said he was out working. He comes home and Natalia had her nose. She had made Natalia have her nose on the wall or whatever. And soon as my nigga walk in the house, it wasn't no "Hey babe, how you doing?" or a hug like "Hey, a kiss," nothing. She got up in my nigga face and was like, "You better back your wife up." Let me tell you something, bro. I've been working all day. I don't got time for this right now. You gonna have to put this shit on pause. I'm tired. You mean to tell me I'm walking in the door, the first thing you motherfucking do is get in my face, point in my face and say, "You better back your wife up"? What about what? I don't even know what the fuck is going on. He didn't have no clue about what was going on in that house. I want to know what he was doing because nigga, he didn't know shit.
I know what he was doing.
What was he doing?
Michael was jacking off. Let me tell you something.
Oh, absolutely.
I done figure Michael out, man.
Absolutely.
Michael ain't fucking nobody but Christine. I'm telling you, my guy. I think Michael was a virgin before Christine, dude.
Point made.
And I honestly feel like he got one taste of that shit, and he was hooked. He lost his mind. There's no way. And I'm not saying this in a way of, because I'm a man are masculine, and all this. Forget all that. There's no way another person is just really just gonna, especially when it's a man, gonna let a woman bully them the way that this woman was bullying this man. There's no way.
I will say this though. Right? There's certain situations that you can be ignorant to. And I feel like in that situation, there were a lot of things that he was ignorant to. And once again, going back to the same situation, when she went up to him, he walked in the house, she go up to him like, you better have your wife's back. She goes in, she explains everything to the dude or whatever. She telling him what Natalia did or whatever. She just start beating her. And he's just sitting there watching it. Then he said he recorded it or whatever. This is what I'm saying, man. I be wanting to believe the shit this dude say, but I can't. I really can't. He then tells her, I played it back, and before I could stop it, Christine comes downstairs and tells me to delete my phone. No, to reset my phone to make sure everything is deleted, or I'll never see my kids again. First and foremost, you're not taking me to court. Not with this evidence. You're not taking me to court. I'm not going to see my kids again. I have proof. You're literally beating the shit out of these kids. Let's go to court, please. By all means. Matter of fact, let's do it tonight. Let's do it tonight. Let's walk up there we can drive together. Call a babysitter. We go out there right now. You can't press me like that, bro. Especially with this, I literally have evidence of you beating the shit out of this young girl. Like, he was complicit in all of this shit. Now, as much as he tried to say, "Oh, well, I was just a coward," and he crying and all this shit, he's forcing himself to cry and all this goofy shit. I've never wanted to punch my TV so much. I'm so serious, bro. Like my fucking hands was clenching up and everything because there's no fucking way I'm gonna sit here and watch you beat on a fucking child. And all I'm doing is pulling out my phone to record it. You ain't trying to stop it. You ain't saying, hey, wait. You know, let's not go there. Let's find a different route. You ain't trying to do. You ain't trying to intervene at all. You literally sitting here watching it. I don't give a fuck how much money this woman got. I don't give a fuck how famous this motherfucker thinks she is. There's nothing that you could do in front of me to where I'm just gonna sit there and watch. And I know I can overpower you. I know I can stop you from doing this. She could have killed that girl. She could have just anything. She could have caused that girl more physical harm, like all kind of shit, bro. And he just sat back and watched all that shit.
Yeah, and that's bullshit. And the two things that she did, now don't get me wrong, a lot of the things that she did in Natalia, really all the shit she did in Natalia was wrong. But it was two things that really stood out to me. The number one, the Mace thing. First of all, Michael said there, oh, I found out about this a year ago, and then they played the tape.
Where he clearly,
Michael, he clearly been knew about this shit, but he just straight up lied to her in her face.
He lied too much, bro.
Way too much. And then knowing that you did an interview, but see, I think Michael was trying to be too smart for his own damn good, but he's trying to, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to look more compassionate in front of her and say, I found out a year ago when you've been there. But
drugs make you lie like that.
Yeah. And for Christine to do that shit, and then the way that it was said, Michael had to come home knowing that her eyes and stuff was messed up from fucking, you know what I'm saying, Mace. So he had to knew about it when the shit happened. That's number one. But the other thing that she did, and this is a trigger warning for the, you know what I'm saying? I just want to say that before put that out. When Natalia was talking about the whole period conversation.
Oh my God.
And she said that Christine, inserted something in her, and then, then she saw the blood and tried to convince her that she was having a period. Yo, I'm talking about Christine, but this lady's a fucking psycho.
They both are, bro.
They both are, but she's on a whole nother level. She's Norman Bates level.
Man, that's why I said, bro, he's just as fucking guilty. Look, man, listen. First and foremost, right? Okay, I get it. They had a confusion of records or whatever. She seen that as an opportunity to make her older. Nigga, you knew about that.
Yes.
Because when she asked her, why did you guys re-age me? I thought we weren't going to talk about that. No, that means you clearly guilty in that shit. Because everything that happened, he instantly talked about, Christine. This the one time you don't want to blame Christine for some shit? You just don't want to talk about it? Nah, y'all thought y'all had a play. Y'all thought that y'all was going to sit that girl out there. Something was going to happen to her. Y'all could claim some accidental shit. Hands free, y'all good. That's what I think. That was fucked up, bro. Like the way that they, not just the way that they treated her, but just the shit that they was on. And then for him to, when Christine switched up on him, try to change it up, like now all of a sudden he give a fuck about Natalia. Nah, bro. That was some bullshit. That was some straight bullshit, man.
Yeah. Michael, I think that a lot of what you're saying got validity to it because Michael is his mannerisms is so fucking all over the place. Mm-hmm. And the way that he thinks, the way that he moves his hand, yo, I know this wasn't supposed to be funny, but when she asked, can I pray with you? And the way that he got on his knees, I've never in my life seen somebody get on their knees like that. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Michael, he's such a fucking weirdo. But
I had a button I was about to push, but I'm not gonna do that.
Hey, listen. I know. Yeah. I hate to say, and I think I know what you gonna say.
Yeah, but listen, bro.
I don't know if we got this. I don't know if we got this. I don't know if we got this.
Yeah.
But when I seen that shit, all I could think about was fucking Blue Street.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, all I can tell you about this guy, Miles, that he's gay. Gay.
Hey, man.
Hey.
I said I told you when I seen it in part 1. I said that man is not straight.
You did say that.
Man, that man he has some demons. Do you hear me? That man has some demons that he is fighting. I don't know why he's scared to come out the closet. Whatever the case may be, I don't if he don't feel like doing it, he don't feel like doing it, whatever. But I pray that man lives his real life. It's okay to be gay, bro. It really is. Nothing is wrong with it. Live your life, my nigga. You fucked up. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm for real when I say drugs, bro. I think that guilt drove that motherfucker to drugs, man. Cause that he has too much sporadic behavior. The shit like the over the top shit. And I grew up around drug addicts. I got a lot of drug addicts in my family. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I got a few. Yeah,
bro,
I got a few.
They got some Michael behavior, bro. Be honest.
Michael was wilding, man. He was wilding, but it was a lot of shit in here. I tell you something that I do believe both of them. And I think that what Christine was trying to do was, I think she was trying to kill two birds with one stone with the one guy telling him that she seen Michael and Natalia in sexual acts or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that ever happened.
No,
I don't think that ever happened. I think that was just Christine trying to, you know what I'm saying, manipulate that whole situation to try to kill two birds with one stone by telling another person.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even think it was that. I not the fact that she was, you know what I'm saying, that the killing the two birds with one stone, you're right. But I think it was killing two birds with one stone because she tried to set Natalia up with an adult, knowing that girl was not an adult.
Yes.
And when it fell through and it didn't work, then she tried to say or let him know, oh, I think that they're having sexual relations. So now, you know what I'm saying, shit looked kind of different. Now it's a reason why she's saying that she thinks she older. Now it's a reason why she was trying to get her hooked up because she was trying to get her away from her husband and all that weird shit. Listen, I don't think that Christine is that bright of a person to be able to conjure all this shit up. I just think everybody around her was dumb. I'm be honest with you. Everybody around her was dumb and naive because even the neighbor, the one lady with the horrible tan, she was that motherfucking tan was killing.
Hey, boy, we know who she called for them tanning tips, but
that was killer, bro. When I seen her, I was like, God damn, stay out the sun. You need to go back in the house. But yeah, like when she was just saying, like when they were just when her, I bet say when her and Christine, when her and Natalia was talking, she was just like, yeah, you know, she basically broke down like, yeah, I was scared of Christine. Scared of Christine for what? What could she have done to you?
Yo, when they was having that conversation, and she was like, yo, you never thought twice to just even try to double check on some of the shit that she was saying?
I mean, yeah, like you didn't question none of the shit she said. She just over here telling you all this shit. You ain't none of this shit seeming iffy. You just taking her word for every motherfucking thing. She done lied. She done came over here and told you about her husband. She done came over here and told you about this kid that they just adopted. And mind you, this is supposed to be the Hollywood writer lady. That everything's supposed to be so perfect. And you ain't curious about none of this shit. You just going with it. Cause she got $500,000. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was some sick shit. But that's hilarious. You brought up a 10 because I had
You know,
noticed
that
that
10
when
was
she
funny.
came out that door, I was like, what the fuck? Nah, this thing it went all over the place, man. It went all over the place, and it's just I think that the conversation. First of all, the first time because I never got to really finish that point. Like the first time when you know Michael, I think Michael used old dude. What's his name? Antoine. What was his name? I forget what his first name was. It was something like that. But the man's guy. And I think
Oh,
Michael
it was
used.
either Anton or Antoine.
Yeah, it was one of the two. And he was saying asking him not to curse and all that type of stuff. And Michael went crazy. You know what I'm saying? I tried doing all this fucking stupid ass shit. But then I think that day, I think Michael he plays for the camera. And when he can't maneuver the way that he wants to, he tries to find he's out. Like he
Yeah,
can't like if it's like a script. You give him a script and you tell him to improv, he can't do it.
right.
Like he can't do it. But then when you look at the second situation, when the re-age thing came about, like he just keeps telling her, like, yo, I thought we couldn't talk about this. I thought we couldn't talk about this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's move on from this. I think that what his lawyer told him
Mm-hmm.
was everything else. We could say Christine, 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 Christine.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the one thing because I think the reason why I could be wrong at this. I don't know if there had to be papers that had to be signed to say that she was older.
Yeah. Remember they had a whole court thing about it.
Michael had to sign.
Yeah.
So
Remember
that's why.
Remember, they was at court. She was never involved in none of this shit. Natalia was never around for nothing. They didn't bring Natalia in to question her. They didn't investigate anything. They literally went off of that letter, and then whoever the judge was a family friend. And when they went in there, that shit went quick. If you go back and watch part one, they tell you that shit went quick. It didn't take too long. It didn't take long for none of that shit to go through. The only thing that went on was they said they took it to a physician, and the physician said basically that everything that they've done with the test and everything that they've done, basically they've come to the conclusion that she is an adult
And they
around the
did
age
that.
of 22.
And that's when they had put her in that what do you call that facility?
This it was a mental facility.
Yeah, a mental facility. So that's when she was in there, and then when they aged her up, they put her in the damn in gym pop. Really?
Well, no, remember when she was only in there for a month.
Shit, only. I mean, to be that young, that only is a long time for
Absolutely,
a month.
absolutely. No, that's not what I'm saying. She was only in there for a month, and they called her and was like, "Yeah, what are y'all talking? Ain't nothing wrong with her." Like and even then, remember they kept saying, "There's nothing wrong with this child."
Yeah,
Even they knew this wasn't no grown ass woman. So when the what's that lady's name? Because I'm so glad that they had her on here. Beth. I'm so glad that they had her on here because when she was talking about the way that they had pretty much planned this shit, right? They were saying that the way that they looked at it was the age was 22. Why would the age be 22? Because at 21 it would kind of be the same thing, right? putting her at 22 basically would have they thought putting her at 22 was going to be their way of getting her out and letting her be free, because up until 21 or whatever, you still are liable for the child. Well, when she had broke it down, she was like, yeah, but the laws tell you that with her condition, yeah, she still needs a guardian around regardless.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because her living by herself could anything could happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's detrimental. Like when they was talking to bro, the shit that really broke my heart, bro, was when they were talking about Christine coming to that apartment, right? And I guess she said she was taking like 3 different types of medicines or something. And she had woke up, she said she took her medicine or whatever, and she said Christine came in and said, "Did you take your medicine?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "I don't believe you." And she made her take it again. And then she said she turned her head as she was taking it, looked at her again and said, "Did you take your medicine?" She said, "Yeah, you right in front of me. I just took." She said, "I don't believe you," and made her take that shit again. That's 9 different fucking pills. Not only that, that's a fucking child taking shits prescribed for an adult. My nigga, when she said she got woozy, she got sick, and she just fell out, I'm like, yo, that type of shit. I get why she moved to Canada. I get why she moved to Canada.
Oh,
It
yeah, I
makes
ain't
sense
gonna
why
say
she moved to Canada.
that.
Because if she was doing shit like that, bro, come on, man. That's fucking crazy. And
Yeah.
this nigga just don't know. He just don't know shit. He just riding around in his cars.
Yeah. I mean, that was a very disappointing. I mean, look, there was a lot of disappointing things to hear in this. Um, but because I see we coming close, but this is the thing, and I said this earlier. With all of the bad and sad things that happened to Natalia, because
Mm-hmm.
all of the shit was bad and all of it was sad, and I hate that people are taking advantage of not only just a disabled person, but also, an adoptee where the mother signed her rights away from this girl.
Right.
So this girl was set out in the world of adoption because her parents didn't want her. So that's already one thing to deal with on top of having this disability.
Right.
But to be abused and taken advantage of the way that she was is wrong. All that type of shit. I want to get all of that out before I say what I'm about to say.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, just from what I take from season 1 and season 2, I feel like, unfortunately, when there's smoke, there's fire. Because that's just one of those situations where it's like, yo, why did this shit keeps happening, or certain shit just keeps happening to the same person?
Right.
And it's like she had an issue with one family they wanted to get rid of, but she get with the Barnetts, and the Barnetts, look, the Barnetts are terrible people,
Mm-hmm.
but there were still instances where shit was happening with her.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was the knife thing where she said she never did that, and then they played a tape of her talking when she was in 2014, where she said, "Yeah, there were situations where I hid knives under my bed and all this type of shit." So,
I'm iffy with that one though. I'm iffy with that one though.
but because Michael, that was one thing that Michael said he was fucking sure about was her standing
Her
by the
standing at
bed
the
with a
edge
knife.
of the bed with a knife.
But my thing is, like that lawyer said, his Michael's lawyer, it was always just something about Natalia always seemed a little off. And then we get at the very end of the shit when you think this shit is over. We
What?
sitting there thinking, we thinking this thing is over. You know what I'm saying? You look at the
You ain't
timestamp,
gotta
oh, this
set
is
it
about to
up
be
right.
over.
Set it up right. You gotta set it up right, man. Cause what?
Yo, right when you think it's over, you see thing come across the screen. Producers said they got an unexpected phone call 2 weeks later after the man adopted Natalia.
Bro, let me tell you something. The way that they put that shit together, that was possibly the greatest ending to a documentary ever. They had the heartfelt day where it was adoption day. They had shirts made and shit, family all around at the courthouse hugging and kissing. She excited. She got the papers. That screen went black, nigga. That shit. Anton and Cynthia gave us a call. And that phone call shit started playing. And then they got the drone shot just zooming in on while she's sitting on the shit in the punk rock outfit. I was like, oh, it's going down. That nigga said, man, I don't know what's going on. She's never been like this before. I mean, she's just going off of just a bed of lies. Cynthia's like, yeah, I mean, I don't understand. She just turning her back on her family. They go back to him. He like, yeah, I mean, she's done things before, but nothing like this. We're done with her. We're done. I said, oh my God. I told you when I seen that shit, I said, nigga, I can't wait for part 3.
Yo,
That shit is crazy, bro.
man, I hate to say it, but when there's smoke, there's fire, man. It's something is traveling with this girl. I don't know what it is. And now, like I said, the Barnetts are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They did this girl wrong. But there is something there. And I'm not saying that it warrants to whatever Christy was doing to her, whether it was macing her, abusing her, putting things in her, making her sit in her urine, or all that other stuff that Christine had her doing. I'm not saying that Christine was right at any of this, because none of that shit is good parenting. None of it. You know what I'm saying? That ain't the type of shit that you do when you're trying to punish a kid. You know what I'm saying? You take shit from them, like, you know, like shit, whatever your tactics are.
Man, you got $500,000. You can't take it to the doctor, a psychiatrist, nothing.
Yeah, like there's other ways to handle the shit, but for the man family to be just so in love with the girl the way that they was, and then they was like, as soon as she get, because it felt like the way they making it sound like she manipulates you to adopt her, and then as soon as they do, once you are, well, she is y'all responsibility no matter what, because now y'all stuck with her. Y'all stuck with her at this point.
Yeah.
So maybe my question to you is, did she put up an act to get adopted so somebody would be responsible for her?
Well, looking back on everything, especially after saying that, looking back on everything, there was a small part in the doc where they were talking with the daughter, one of the other daughters from the man's family. And she was saying, like, you know, she had done something to me, but, you know, she didn't know any better. And she quickly was like, yeah, but, you know, she was like only 10. She didn't know any better. And then before that, it was the thing where she had bit the little girl while she was in the crib or whatever, or in the bed or something like that. She bit one of the kids. And then before that, she was on the video like, look at what she said, look at the pain in my butthole, or pain in my butt, or something, pain in the butt or something she was calling her. The little baby in the what the fuck is that thing called, man? The playpen. The little baby was in the playpen, and she was recording the baby in the playpen, calling her pain in the butt, and you know what I'm saying, this is everybody's pain in the butt or whatever like that. when I seen that, right? At first, it was like, yeah, that's kind of off, but that don't seem too far fetched for a kid to say. That's like some kid shit to say,
Yeah.
right? You know what I'm saying? I done heard people call their siblings pains in the butt and all that shit. I mean, that motherfucker could be a crybaby, all kind of shit. It could get into shit. The baby could be everywhere doing all kind of shit. That might be why she was the pain in the butt. I was really just trying to give Natalia the benefit of the doubt, right? And then you hear the ending. To me, I feel like there's a lot of underlying issues going on with the adoption process with these families. And because of that, there's some things that have happened to her that have caused her to be this way, right? When you look at everything that had went on, they basically was just saying like with the Ciccone family or Ciccone family, whatever, I forgot what their name was, but the family before the Barnetts, that she was kind of like acting out or whatever, and then they was just like, yeah, it's time to go a different route. And then it didn't help that they were also disabled. You know what I'm saying? So it was other things that they really couldn't do with her that the Barnetts could do. So when the Barnetts got her and everything started happening, I'm sure that there were some things that she wasn't doing that was of like some shit that a normal child would do. And I think that because of the shit that was going on in the Barnett household, you know what I'm saying? Like her hiding knives or her having scissors and shit like that. If you're getting beat and you're getting abused and all this other shit, that shit is likely bound to happen. Now, it ain't too much she could probably do with that shit because she was saying like she can't even close her fingers.
Yeah.
So it ain't too much she could do. Like, even that's why when he kept saying like, yeah, you had a knife at the edge of my bed, like, fam, what was she gonna do? You thought she was gonna fuck you up with the knife? Like, come on, man. She was you knew she was a kid and you knew what her symptoms and condition was. You was afraid of her with a knife? Stop it. She can't move that fast because of her legs. It ain't like she can like hit you for real. Like, come on, man. Let's be serious about this. Like, let's really be adults, right? But not only that, when you think about the pledge situation where they claim she poured pledge in the coffee, I mean the cup of coffee. Okay. Then it was her version of, well, they were cleaning off the table and she moved her cup out the way and then she sprayed pledge and she wiped off the spot. Then old girl got it and smelled it and it smelled like pledge. It could be a possibility, right? Because she could barely fucking close her fingers. It could be a possibility that she sprayed it, because I've sprayed pledge before and it moves up. It don't just stay in one spot. It's aerosol. That it could possibly had got towards your cup and maybe that's why your cup smells like pledge. That's possible, right? And then her the beating her, like you said, making her sit in her own urine, forcing her to put a tampon inside herself, like all of these different things. I'm not surprised why she probably acts the way that she acts. She's been abused. She's been traumatized. That's what traumatized people and abused people do. Just like when they tell you, like when you at school and you got a bully, he's probably getting bullied at home. He probably getting abused and shit at home. Yeah, that's what happened. Hurt people. So I'm not going to be surprised. Like I said, I think there's some underlying issues that we're going to find out about if there is a part 3, if they come out with this part 3, that we're going to find out that we might actually find out the truth in part 3, that these motherfuckers really did a number on this girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really did a number on her. And I know I'm kind of leaning more towards Natalia's situation, but for her to be a child and have went through what she went through, and to get all the way up into this point, and then they talking about like, yeah, she's manipulative. Look who she was with. She was with Christine Barnett. That motherfucker was super manipulative.
Yep.
You see what she did with Michael? They in the car, she yelling and screaming and going crazy. He finally had enough of it. He turned and said, "Bitch, shut up or I kill you." All of a sudden, her phone out, she recording shit. Then she turned around and tell the kids, "Daddy's gonna kill you, but I'm gonna protect you." Who says shit like that? If that ain't some creepy shit to say.
Yep.
When the cops heard that, y'all didn't think that was weird? Y'all thought that the fact that he just yelled at her and said, "Shut up or I'll kill you" was weird? No, get them kids away from that bitch too. What the fuck are we talking? Let me tell you something. If we in the car and my mom turns around and says, "Daddy's gonna kill you, but I'm gonna protect you," I don't trust neither one of you motherfuckers. Bro. What? Nah, bro. Ain't nothing. Nah. So I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked that she may be acting out or doing some shit that is fucking crazy, because yeah, she went through a fucking tumultuous time with these rat bastards of people. And I'm not gonna lie to you, this fucking Cynthia and Anton, I told you, man, motherfuckers was weird too. I told you I ain't fuck with the dad. I ain't fuck with him from the gate.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be surprised if he put out some weird ass rules or something, and really it's just she don't want to go along with the rules, and now all of a sudden she, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Maybe they seen the play. Ain't that nigga? Wasn't he a pastor or something like that?
He was a bishop.
Come on, man. What better way? What better way to put yourself on the map than to be in a Natalia Grace story, and all of a sudden you move on up. And after you getting your move up, all of a sudden now she going crazy. Let me tell you something. I don't put nothing past people, man. I don't put nothing
Not at
past people.
all.
These motherfuckers are sick, and I wouldn't be surprised if the man's family was also sick. You know what I'm saying? I think
Yep.
that the Cynthia lady, something is wrong with her, because we ain't hear a lot from Cynthia. We just heard a couple things here and there. We ain't really hear a lot from Cynthia. We heard more from her in part one than we did in part two, and I think that they got something cooking over there, man. So yeah, that's just my thoughts. You got any final thoughts before we move on?
I mean, look, I agree with you. And my thing when I say there's smoke, there's fire. What I'm meaning is, I think that
Mm-hmm.
there is some internal issues within Natalia that probably is not going to be fixed with the conversation. It's not going to be fixed in a short amount of time. I also believe that now, when they did that whole little thing about when she was brought over from Ukraine, and they was talking about this doctor or whatever, and she was saying how they would, insert things in her, and she think that they inserted something in her when she first came over, and also stuff like that. And I just think that there is some internal issues to where she would act out over some shit. And I think that you brought up a phenomenal point in the saying that, look at how much time she spent with Christine. Like, people also got to remember, Christine took her out of school. Took her out of
Mm-hmm.
school for no reason,
Mm-hmm.
to keep her at home all day.
And the teacher was
So
all the shit Christine was saying. She was like, "Yeah, we never had an issue with that girl."
yeah, and I think that that's when her issues ramped up, because this is what she's seeing 24/7. This is
Yeah,
what she's knowing 24/7. So at an impressionable age that she was, to be around Christine like that, why wouldn't she just do some of these tactics
exactly.
that Christine was doing? You know? So yeah, like, that's my final thing to add, man. I like, even though, I mean, and I mean, when I say when there's smoke, there's fire, I'm not saying that it's Natalia's fault, or anything like that. I'm just saying, when there's smoke, there's fire. There is issues with this girl, that this shit is not fixed, and no documentary is gonna fix this shit.
Right.
Like, blaming Christine for everything is not gonna fix this shit. Trying to get answers from Michael is not gonna fix this shit. Like, this is gonna take years of therapy. This is gonna take years of whatever else that this girl is gonna need to get on the right track, because there's a lot of shit going on with her that involves the Burnetts. It's things that don't involve the Burnetts, but I think the Burnetts are the center issue of the problems that she has.
Couldn't have said it better myself, brother. Couldn't have said it better myself. Let's move on to Fire Flames, bro.
Right?
Yoga fire. Yoga flame.
All right, man. What are you giving? What are you rating this thing?
This is very difficult to rate. Um, I will say the first one, well, the first part, I feel like is a tad better than this one.
Mm-hmm.
As far as information that was being told and all that type stuff. Um, with this being the way that it is, the way that they set it up and everything, look, it's I'm not gonna go five. I'm not gonna go five. But that setup at the end, but that shit almost puts it there, boy. Cause just that part alone, boy, was crazy. But I'm gonna give this man honestly, um, because the two sit downs, like you can't just like it was a conversation. So I'm gonna go a four. Because both of the sit downs were weird as fuck. I know that's not necessarily the producers them fault. I mean, you just put two people to sit down and talk, so I mean, they can't really, But the information that was given, like going back to the old lady, I ain't like that old lady. I don't think we needed that old lady. That lived in the apartment.
At
Um,
all. That was pointless
yeah,
to go back
we
to.
did, we did not need her. We didn't get those two people back. Those the family that was in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Where she was went over to play with their kids and stuff, and then they kind of
Yeah,
pushed her off because
the lady who said that she came and rode her kid's big wheel.
yeah, like they didn't bring them back. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna give this a four. I'm pretty sure I can't remember if I gave the first one a five or a 4.5, but
Mhm.
yeah, I gotta go down to a four for this.
Okay, so I'm giving this a 3.5. And the reason I'm giving this a 3.5 is specifically for something that you pointed out. It was the sit downs. Um, and the first sit down, of course, was a catastrophe because Anton was he was too emotionally involved, right? In a situation like that, you're here to get information, you're here to get answers.
Mhm.
And especially you being somebody who is supposed to be, well, he's a bishop, so you're somebody who should be used to, counseling and asking questions and being able to guide things along in certain situations, because usually in churches, like, those are the people you go talk to, right? Usually talk to like the bishop, I mean, not the preachers, the bishops, saying those people to kind of guide and counsel you with certain situations. And especially being a man of God, you would think that his demeanor would be a lot more stable in that situation, for his daughter's sake at least, right? um the second one, I felt like it wasn't pointless, but I feel like Michael had the upper hand in that situation. And I feel like he was showing us that even though Christine was the, like, kind of like the head of this whole thing and the face of this whole thing, he still was just as manipulative. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm doing my best to get this word. But he was just as bad as Christine was. That whole conversation was manipulation.
Yeah.
The whole conversation was manipulation. When he's talking to her, everything is pointing back to Christine. He's not taking accountability for the shit that he's doing. He's not really talking about anytime it's some stuff that could possibly involve him. The first thing he's saying is, well, we don't really want to get into all that. No, nigga, yeah, that's what we here for. The whole purpose was for you to be able to tell her the truth. None of that happened. And then the biggest question that we needed answered, we never got an answer to.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He basically was playing up to her emotions and her feelings because he knew how she felt about Christine. You know what I'm saying? He knew exactly how she felt about that lady. And that's what he played into. And that's what helped him get the fuck up out of there the way he did. And I'm not gonna lie to you. Anytime a nigga that's that old dressed like that, tell you everything you need to know. Tell you everything you need to know. You see the way his facial hair was cut? All of this niggas, that's why I say he going through identity crisis, man. Something wrong with this nigga for real.
Dude, he could barely fit in that Mazda, man.
Man, come on, bro. This nigga put his sunglasses on like hey, bro, he put his sunglasses on like this nigga was in a goddamn muscle car or something. Fam, you don't need to be cool, bro. You're too old for this shit. Way too old for this shit. There's no need for none of that. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 3.5, man. I feel like we're still at the same spot, right? I don't think we really got any answers for some of the stuff that needed answers, and I feel like we got just as much information as we had in the first one at this point. That's pretty much about it, bro. But let's go ahead and jump into coming soon.
Let's do it.
Coming soon to own on video and DVD.
Okay, so our next episode, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be about a what is that called? Satire. It's satire for sure, but it's pretty much about Hitler doing some goofy shit. I've seen clips of this shit a bunch of times. I've never actually watched it, but this will be my first time watching it. But our next episode, which is actually a fan pick, Jojo Rabbit, man. Jojo Rabbit.
Yes. This will be the first time I've seen this as well.
Yeah.
So this is going to be very interesting. I did watch the trailer, and I will say, they got me. There was a few funny moments in the trailer that I saw. So we're gonna see how this play out, man. But this is definitely a fan's pick, and this was something that in your wheelhouse, I would say. Comedy, and they got Hitler in it. So
yeah. Just to be clear, because it might be some new people watching this. I'm not a fan of Hitler.
Clear
that up real quick. I'm not a Hitler fan. I'm just, I watched a lot of History Channel at 2:00 in the morning, and that's the only person they usually talk about. So I just happen to, know a lot about this nigga. I read Mein Kampf. Yeah. So, listen, man. If you watched the second part of the Curious Case of Natalia Grace, and you believe Natalia, if you don't believe Natalia, if you are like myself and S-Dot, and you are just as confused and stuck as the first part, hit us up. Let us know on our socials. Excuse me. Currently, just right now on Instagram, at View and Nine Pod. We're working on the TikTok as we speak. Our YouTube page is finally up, ladies and gentlemen. Our YouTube page is finally up. So this will be available on YouTube after this episode drops. So whenever you're listening to it, you can go on YouTube and check it out tomorrow. It'll be out then. But if you like to follow me personally, you can follow me on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it at Scooch Bronson. I got a link tree in my bio. You can follow me everywhere else there. That's all I got, man.
And y'all can find me at s.foster8 on Instagram and on X at 28 minutes or less pod. That is just on IG. Follow the podcast, 28 minutes or less. New episode is out. I did a episode that's a 30 for 30. It's called Plan for the Mob. This is a very, very interesting 30 for 30, man. I mean, this involves Henry Hill. This involves, well, if y'all don't know who Henry Hill is, he's a guy that was in Goodfellas, who the whole
Ray
shit was
Liotta,
really
right?
based around. Yeah, that was Ray Liotta. And Ray Liotta, I meant to say that on the pod, he narrated this. So
Oh,
that
no.
was even dope how they had him narrate it. But to think, I will give you this. To think that the only way they was able to get Jimmy Burke locked up was because my man Henry Hill just slipped up and said how we were using college kids to get bets, basically. Yo, that's how that whole shit crumbled. See, they now in Goodfellas, there was only one scene where they mentioned anything about point shaving. That was when they was walking the one Marty guy to the car, and they got in the car and they stabbed him in the back of the neck.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only time they said anything about any of this shit.
Yeah.
But come to find out that is what got this whole shit fucked up.
Well, he was a rat in the movie though, too, wasn't
Yeah,
he? Yeah. So that
yeah. I mean, he's a rat, but this is the thing. They wanted him. Well, like they didn't have anything on Jimmy. Like they was surveilling him and all that type shit, but they couldn't get him. They couldn't catch him in anything. So when Henry Hill got locked up for the drug shit, they was trying to get him to rat on Jimmy, and so he ratted on Jimmy about some shit, but they only because when Jimmy got locked up, he got 20 years for point shaving, my guy. That's what he got locked up for originally, because they used the comparison of Al Capone. Al Capone didn't get locked up for bootlegging.
right.
He got locked up for tax evasion. So they got Jimmy on the point shaving shit,
Yeah.
and then they was able to convict him of the murders to where he got 20 to life. But he originally got locked up for point shaving with these kids on this 1978-79 Boston College basketball team. That shit is crazy as fuck, man.
Let me tell you something. Locking Al Capone up for tax evasion on an illegal business is crazy, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's fucking asinine, bro. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me I'm not going to jail for doing the illegal shit that you caught that you really want me to do? You gonna send me to jail for not paying taxes on it? Man,
Dude,
fuck out of here.
Dude,
I ain't supposed to be doing this shit.
the two examples that I like, so you got the Al Capone shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got the Jimmy Burke shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the thing. This motherfucker did that heist for $5 million at the airport. Then this motherfucker started murdering all the people that helped them fucking do the heist. They can't get him for none of that.
Right.
But they get him for shaving points. But this is the thing. Same thing with OJ. And I use this on the pod. OJ get off on the 2 murders.
Mm-hmm.
Then go to Vegas.
Go try to
and
steal
because try to steal the shit back and they say technically when you tell somebody you can't leave, that means kidnapping.
Yeah.
So they got this motherfucker for kidnapping.
R. Kelly. They let him go for pissing on the little girl, but you can't pull hoes across state lines, nigga. That's not how shit works.
That's how, hey, I'm telling you. Any way they can get you, bud. Any way they can get you.
That's crazy. No, I'm not gonna get you for the shit I'm supposed to get you. I'm gonna get you for some other shit. I'm gonna send you to jail for some shit that you would have got fucking a couple months over. Put your ass up there for 20. They should have been locked R. Kelly's ass up, man. They know they. Oh my god.
Yeah.
OJ, I don't
Go,
know. OJ, I don't know.
look, man. Put it like this. Go check out episode 143, man. I'm
Absolutely.
saying I went in on that one, man.
Absolutely. 28 minutes or less, ladies and gentlemen. It's available on all your DSPs, man. Go check it out. Great episodes. The gangster series is amazing. Man, you be talking about people I've never heard of. I ain't gonna
That's
lie.
what I try to do.
Yeah, you got some. Is I like it because it's real informative. You know what I'm saying? Like it's people on there I've never heard of, bro, and like just the information that you give on there is already good. But just going to like look these people up and you know what I'm saying, like seeing what these people are about. Yeah, that shit is dope. I talked about it on Oppenheimer. That's what I did throughout the whole movie of Oppenheimer. I was just looking up people's names while I was watching it. But thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. Oh, last but not least, I'm sorry. I'd be remiss to not tell you guys that you can still subscribe to the podcast.
Yes.
$2.99. The link will be in the descriptions. The link will also be in the description on YouTube. So if you can't find it on your pod, you could go to YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you like the videos. Please. And if you can, share it with a friend. Show a friend. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have clips on there. We're gonna have the full videos on there. And just to give you guys a treat, we're also gonna drop a clip of we'll probably do like 30 minutes of our subscription episodes so you guys can kind of see what you'll be getting with your subscription. So once again, thank you very much. Your support is greatly appreciated. Without you, there could be no us. And until the next episode, man, like they say in Hollywood, that's a wrap.
Cut.